The danger of perfectionism, though, is if you know you can't achieve the level that you want, sometimes I don't even start.
Welcome, beautiful people, to the Lost and Local podcast. We're Adam
And Hannah.
Two Korean citizens who grew up abroad and are now just figuring out life.
Join us as we share stories and our honest perspective on what it means to be lost and local.
Okay, with editing magic, this is the following week, but as you can probably see, we're still wearing the same clothes.
Wait, why'd you point it out? Don't point it out.
But yes, we are doing a back-to-back podcast because we just have to be more efficient. But this will be fun. I think this next topic is going to be a fun one, as you can probably see it in our description. But today we are talking about perfectionism, which actually
Yay.
I think this is good because you have experts on both ends.
Yep. Ready, Adam, for our icebreaker? Tell us about an over-the-top way your perfectionism showed up.
Okay.
Don't hold back.
So I am definitely a unapologetic perfectionist, and it shows up most of the time when I'm doing usually ministry or even as a YouTuber in terms of my editing. I'm a very big perfectionist. And so it's kind of like the bane of my existence sometimes, but I tend to have to know exactly what I'm going to do in terms of whether I'm sharing a message to the church congregation or I'm leading praise and setting up the arrangement or I'm editing a podcast. I am such a perfectionist that I need to know when we're going to transition from bridges to verses to the choruses, and then I let them know like how many times I want it done. When I preach a message, I'm rehearsing it multiple times. And some people kind of think, well, Adam's a little too much of a perfectionist because he doesn't allow his personality to come out or let the Spirit lead when I lead worship. But for me as a perfectionist, the more I'm prepared, actually, the more I can be comfortable to let the Spirit lead or to just feel like, okay, I'm at ease. Because I still have repeating, I don't know if it's PTSD, but repeating nightmares of coming up to having to do something, whether I'm sharing a message or leading worship in my dream, and I have nothing prepared. And it's like a nightmare. It's literally like a nightmare. So I think my perfectionist side definitely kicks in when I'm any type of work I do. And it's kind of, while it brings me success in some ways, I almost wish I wasn't this much of a perfectionist,
Yeah.
but it's who I am, and I just have to embrace it. But yeah, I'm a huge perfectionist.
Adam's he's still not really showing all of the craziness, but I will be honest. I'm going to show how crazy I am as a perfectionist. When I write someone a letter, I have to type it out on my notes app first. Then I write it out handwritten, and then I rewrite it. So you're getting a third draft.
Oh, I see where you're going now. Okay, you're getting into the weeds. I didn't get into the weeds. Good point. Okay, that's funny because I don't consider my wife a perfectionist, but when she sends out a text, she'll like reread it, rethink it. But when I send out communication, I'll usually have misspellings, errors, and I'm like, oh, I don't care. I'm just going to send it out real quick. So I'm not a perfectionist in that, but I guess you are, and she is kind of too. Oh, that's funny. That is really perfectionist to like go through those extra steps. You just are really wanting to be intentional and make sure that it comes across the way you want it to.
Yeah, and it still won't. Like, no matter how hard I try, it won't completely like the other person won't completely understand what I'm trying to say, right? But still. And I have a like, even though I'm a perfectionist, my handwriting is so ugly, even though I've tried to work on it for years. And so I get a little self-conscious. So I do a first run. And then I'm like, maybe like practicing a little bit will make my handwriting a little better. But it looks the same. But just it gives me a peace of mind. I'm like, I've done my best. I've done my due diligence. Now I can give this letter to my friend.
Okay, so you're being forthright. Okay, I'll be forthright.
Yeah, come on, Adam.
My most recent message, it was a labor of love, but after creating like the major outline of the message, the way I do it is I will go up and rehearse my message verbally and then realize, oh my gosh, that didn't come across right. So then I'll go back and I'll retype it and then go back and I'll start over and listen to myself. And I probably made, on the most recent message I shared to the church, probably 13 revisions. And the night before the actual message, I was nitpicking even the adjectives to try to make it more powerful or more clear. I was like, oh, I don't like that adjective. I'm gonna have to change this. And I was like going through each one and I'm like, is this a sickness or but it's because I like you, I want to come across as clear as possible when I actually share the message. And so while it looks maybe natural to people when I'm up there, it's like a labor of love. And it's like so much revision because there are some people who can wax poetic up there without any, like with just like an outline, but your boy is not that talented. So I am not an orator by any categorical sense. So if I'm going to go up and share a message to a church, I have to be very prepared. And it's almost it's kind of embarrassing to admit because people are like, oh, wow, he's not that talented or whatever. But it's my perfection side that I want it to come across as clear as possible. Much like when you write a letter, I want it to be so clear that there isn't any question mark for the vast majority of people. Like, are they not going to understand the way I tried to explain this section?
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
The bane of my existence is small group leader at church because I have to go by just the flow of things. And so I can't be uber prepared because people are going to ask questions or I'm going to have to like go and just fly by the natural flow of conversation in small group.
Yeah.
So small groups are not something I prefer, but
you're great at it.
Oh, that's only because of God's grace.
Amen.
But
I feel the same.
Yeah. I don't like small group because I can't be super prepared for small group. I just have to be ready for people and like, I mean, I do prepare for small group, but because it's like more organic.
Broad strokes.
Yeah, it's like broad strokes. Like, I can't be like fussing over how I want the sentence structure to be when I teach a lesson.
Yeah.
So Oh, I have another story. So when I used to serve a
Keep
church,
them coming.
When I used to serve a church in Oregon, this was before we went to Korea 7 years ago. I was helping out like I did at ARC to this church for a couple of years. And I would go every Saturday, which I do on Saturdays when I lead praise, even at ARC. But I would go every Saturday and I would set up the worship room because we had to set up individual chairs. So I would set up enough chairs for the congregation and I would set up like 50 chairs, but all the chairs had to be the exact place. So I would go and put each one in the exact spot.
Wait, that was a you rule or that was a church rule?
That's me rule. I just want to make it as like, to me, like setting the ambiance and setting the environment is so important that I would be meticulous on even where I put each chair. That's how like, unfortunately, perfectionist I am. And people, I don't expect people to thank me for it. It's just my perfectionist side. I don't know if they call it, did they call it OCD?
I think both of us have slight OCD.
Yeah, I think I have a minor case of OCD.
Yeah, me too.
But it gives me peace when I do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, it's not for anyone. It's for me.
Yeah.
Like it's for me to feel better. Yep. I can totally relate.
Yeah. But thank you for breaking the ice on that, because I was keeping it
Yeah.
not broken.
You're being shy. Okay. So let's go back. Where do you think your perfectionism originates from? Or when was the first time you noticed it? Like you were like, oh, this is a thing. Not everyone is doing this, but I am really gravitating towards these routines.
Oh, do you want me to answer it?
Yes.
Playing with toys when I was young. The way I played with my the way when I was young, we had these things called Matchbox cars. So they were like little mini metal cars that looked like real cars. And then there was like Star Wars figurines, like 3-4 inches tall. And then there was also something called G.I. Joe. Anyway, so when I would play by myself, I would create this whole narrative of this traumatic situation. All the cars had their personalities and they had voices to them, and all my characters. So I'd create these different dramas that were going on. And I would be very meticulous about the way I played. And then when I went over to a friend's house to play with them, they're just like, it was like they were playing like a first grader would play. But I was in first grade playing I was like playing chess with my action figures, like in the way, like I would be very intentional. Like, okay, well, this he can't break character because he's like the hero. And so I was very, even in my way that I would play, was very meticulous and very thought out, very storytelling. But then when I would play with my friends, they were like kind of immature. And they would just like not have any storylines. And I'm like, oh man, like I play differently than them.
Wow.
So even in the way I played, and I would like how I would set up the stage for the scenes, I would like have the characters in the right spots. And I don't know. I realized that, not everyone plays this way. Like, oh, that's weird. Like, why wouldn't you play with your toys this way? So even as a young kid, I was kind of like that.
Yeah.
Oh, what about you? What about you?
I didn't know I was like this until 6th grade, actually. So much later than you.
Okay. Do tell.
And I wonder if it's because I moved around so much. So I just thought being prepared was normal. Like,
okay.
I don't know. But anyway, in 6th grade, I had this really, really scary British teacher. And the first day of school, he made us do some diagnostic, and I think I forgot to bring something, like either an eraser or something very like insignificant. But he just like yelled and yelled and yelled, and I was so shocked.
Wait, yelled at you?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. He was a very scary. He had a doctorate, like he was older, and I think like I just wasn't used to a British system of teaching. I don't know if he's representative of all British teachers, but maybe like a British man who was like 70 years old back 20 years ago was kind of like that. I don't know. But it was like such a shock to my system. So starting that day, I started packing my bag like 4 or 5 times the night before. And I would be lying in bed, just about to sleep. And then I would get up and check and make sure every single item was in my backpack. And then I would lie down, and then I would go and check again, and I would lie down. So like that became a routine when I was in 6th grade. And it was bad to the point where I had very high, eye pressure.
Oh, eye pressure?
Yeah. Like I was getting a lot of headaches. And so we went to the doctor, and they're like, oh, you're like, the pressure behind your eyes are like, it's like really high for a kid your age, like something's off. And
That's
I think
why
it was
your eyes
a stress
are so
response.
Bulgy.
I think that's just genetic. My whole dad's side we have bulgy eyes. But anyway, but like, yeah, that's when my perfectionism started. And like before I studied for like quizzes, I would write out, I would make predictions about what I thought the questions were going to be. And then I would answer them. and then I would make them into flashcards. And this is in middle school. I was in 6th grade. I would give them to my mom and I'm like, check me. And I would memorize every single thing. And then I would feel good about going to school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So was it perfectionism more like nature versus nurture for you? Like it wasn't your natural inclination, but because of the like semi-trauma and experience, it made you, or maybe you were going to side that way anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was nature. Like it just came out. It was so visible after that traumatic experience, because in the same instance, I think a different kid would have just continued to forget his stuff and just, I just gendered someone. Okay. Their stuff and just dealt with the yelling and just be like, oh, like I'm stupid. What can I do? But for me, it was like, I never want to feel small again. I never want to be singled out. So I'm going to overcompensate by packing my bag 5 times. Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Wow. Interesting. Okay. So,
Yeah.
and then ever since then, you feel like that's kind of always how you leaned towards?
I've mellowed out.
Oh.
Interestingly, I've mellowed. This is me mellow. Like, and like you said, Adam, about like when you preach or when you lead facilitate a discussion, you can't plan for every single thing. Like something's gonna go awry, and you just have to be flexible. And I think teaching really helped me let go.
Oh.
And it's like you plan this beautiful lesson and then they finish it in 10 minutes. Or you think you're going to get through like 7 slides, you only get through 1 slide, and then you have to recalibrate anyway. Or this kid that you were counting on to lead this group doesn't show up, doesn't tell you they're sick, or like they're going on a swim meet and then they didn't tell you, or the school suddenly has an emergency assembly. Like there's just so much going on at school that I've learned to let go. And I've learned to be like, I can plan the big picture things, and then the nitty gritty, I will do it in the moment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've mellowed out.
Oh. Okay. Well, let's go into the second question here. When did perfectionism actually come in handy for you, Hannah?
So many times.
Oh.
And I sometimes am kind of like the mom of the friend group.
Oh.
So sometimes, not always, like, because I have a lot of teacher friends. Sometimes they out mom me, but I usually like have a snack in my bag, hand sanitizer, tissues, like lip balm. Like I like carrying things and being prepared. And so I usually have some extras of something, and then I'm like, I come to the rescue. And actually, my parents are not perfectionists.
Oh.
They're very like go with the flow, especially my mom. Like I remember until I was 8, I was always late to school because we would always wait for her and I'd be late. And then I would have to go to the office to get a late pass and then do the walk of shame.
Oh.
And maybe that's also where I like my obsession with being punctual comes from, which is kind of ironic because I was late to our recording today, but usually I'm very punctual. and like, I guess if your parents are in a certain way, you kind of like compensate for that. So being early to the airport always comes in handy. Being prepared, being extra prepared always comes in handy. Yeah.
Okay.
That's me.
Yeah.
What about you?
We kind of talked about being Jays with Emily a couple of weeks ago. We're all prepared all the time. Yeah. I think for me, when I was in university, I was only in the dorm for 1 semester. So I convinced 3 other guys, like, dude, let's get out of here and let's get to our own apartment. So we got our own apartment, and being the perfectionist that I am, even though they were not Korean, I made them take their shoes off. And then I also kept all the books. Like I would each month I would okay, here's a utility bill. Here's how the bills is done. I would make sure like I would just take care of all the like the books and make sure I was like kind of mothering them like, okay, like your room can be as messy as you want, but out in the common area it has to be clean. I was like the mother of them, even though I was their age. So my
Oh, that's so
perfectionism came
funny.
into play in that way because, you know, we paid our bills on time. We were on top of everything, paid the rent on time. I always kept records of everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, that came in handy. And I think
Yeah.
just in general, being a perfectionist, it helped me be a better natural leader because I'm a J, which on the Meyer-Briggs is J is kind of leans towards perfectionism, right?
I think
Because
so. Yeah.
we come prepared. And so just being so prepared, I always looked at the bigger picture. So I always made sure like, okay, like make sure all like when I would plan retreats for youth groups, even when I was in my 20s, I would be very prepared with the retreat. I would have all the waiver signs formed for the parents. I would have everything organized, knowing exactly the retreats that we're going to. I was just
Yeah.
really organized and prepared in that way. And it just made me a better leader just naturally because I dotted the I's, crossed
Yeah.
the T's, made sure that everything was ready. So that definitely comes in handy. I mean, you don't have to you can be a good leader without having a J in your perspective, but I think you need to have J's around you.
Yeah. Someone needs to do the administrative work.
Yeah. But for
Yeah.
me, I'm much more like let's figure out all the semantics. Yes, we can dream about things, but let's worry about the here and now, and then everything else will naturally flow and follow. But yeah, but the funny thing is even though I'm a perfectionist now, I think. Oh, I edited this out in one of our previous podcasts whenever I was doing the intro about Adam on the third episode. But when I was in high school, I was a horrible student. I got F's like in fantastic F grades. And I would ask my teachers to send me to study hall so I could just get an F and not go to the class.
Oh my
But I was a really
gosh.
bad student. I could care less about anything.
Uh-huh.
So my perfectionism didn't come in handy when it came to schooling in junior high and high school. But after coming to the realization that if you want to be something in life, you have to actually try. So after high school, my perfectionism kicked in and I'm like, oh, okay, it's time to stop being a slacker. So,
Yeah.
but high school kind of taught me, there was only one semester in high school where I decided out of fun, okay, I'm actually going to try and see
Yeah.
if I can do well. And I did great. And then after that
Yeah.
semester, I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then like, I've proved to myself I can do it. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
perfectionism definitely helps, I think, in terms of your education and just making yourself a better person. So yeah, I think that comes in handy. Yeah.
But the danger of perfectionism though is if you know you can't achieve the level that you want, sometimes I don't even start. Do you ever have that or no?
Okay. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think of something that I think being a perfectionist, you're much more grounded in the sense that because I think perfectionists are realists because you try so hard to achieve something that your perfectionism can get you only to a certain level. So I think for me, I never had like aspersions of being this charismatic, amazing something in anything, in any field of life, whether I was in retail banking, whether I was in youth ministry, or whether I was in adult ministry. I never had these like delusions of grandeur that I was going to be amazing. But and from my perspective, I'm like, I don't have the natural gifting, but I know how the sauce is made. And if I just follow the recipe and work hard, the fruit will come from it.
Wow.
So I think for me, that's where, perfectionism is helpful because you know what's needed to make things work, but you don't have the talent to be a superstar, but you come to grips with it and realize, hey, you know what? Yeah, I can be the best assistant manager at a bank I can be instead of being a manager. Or I'll be the best youth pastor or the best EM pastor of a Korean church I can be. But know that
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm in some areas of my life, I'm like that. Like with being on worship team, I'm just kind of like, I'm never going to be elevation worship. Like I'm never going to be, I don't have perfect pitch. Like I don't know the harmonic stuff, like music theory. I don't know any of that. So I kind of let it go. But with violin, I started when I was 5. So I started when most like professional musicians start. And I was pretty serious all the way up to high school. Like I would take lessons like twice a week. I would practice at least 2-3 hours a day. I was like really, really into music, like violin. And then I hit this point where there's this technique called a subigato. I don't know actually how to say it in English, but it's like when you bounce your bow and you like make very staccato like sounds. And I just couldn't do it. Like no matter how many hours I practice, no matter how many times I like watch someone do it, I just could not master that skill. And it's not even like a very high, like very technical skill. And then I was like, this is it. Like I can't perfect it. And this is like kind of where I've hit the wall. And now I'm just going to give up. And so I stopped. Yeah. And then I just played like, so in the orchestra, if you're not in violin 1, you're not important. Like, I'm sorry. But you don't get the melody.
So when you didn't get to be violin 1, you're like, I'm too much of a perfectionist to.
Yeah, and I just demoted myself to like it wasn't even if I'm not in violin 1. If I was not sitting in the concert master seat, I was like, there's no point. And so I was just like, put me in second violin. I don't even care. I'm not even gonna practice anymore. And so in college, I was a part of the orchestra, but I just said, put me in the very back seat. Like I don't care.
Well, that makes me sad that you didn't play violin for ARC Church.
No, and so I haven't played since college. So I haven't played since I was 22.
Do you think you could? Is it like a bike with violin, or would it be hard for you to get back into it?
I'm sure it's kind of like a bike. It'll come back, but the type of music you need for worship versus classical is very different.
Oh, because you have to play more just by feeling with worship.
Yeah.
You're not following note structure.
It's all improvisation, right? It's like,
yeah.
because Sharon's so good at that. Sharon's a cellist at our church, and everything is just pitch. Like she doesn't even look at a score. She's like, oh, there's empty noise here. Let me fill it up with some noise. Like I can't do that. I only know how to express what's on the sheet music. You know? So speaking of letting go of things, what's something you've let go in terms of your perfectionism in a more positive way?
When I was doing YouTube initially, my thought process was to be very organized and planned and think about like storyboarding my vlogs or getting really nitty gritty on my camera gear comparisons, which I still do sometimes. But recently, in the last couple of years, I started just doing like walk and talks, or just doing like things that I didn't prepare ahead of time, or I just walk around and talk. For example, I recently posted a Namsan Tower vlog on my traveling on, and all I did was just chat. I had no idea what I was going to talk about. But I just walked around Namsan for like 20 plus minutes and just talked. And so I think that has helped me in terms of, okay, Adam, you don't have to be a perfectionist. Sometimes it's just good to just be yourself on camera. And so I think I'm beginning to find my voice. Like and technically we're both finding our voice on the Lost and Local. Because when we first started out, we weren't as polished as we are now. I can tell even by editing, like when I edit our episodes, I don't have to edit much anymore versus at the
Yay.
beginning, the first like 10 episodes, I'm like cutting out like I'm cutting out all the weird things.
Yeah.
But for me, I think just learning to accept who I am and even though I've never really cared technically what people think of me, my perfectionist side cared. Like my perfectionist side cared personally for me. Like, Adam, you need to be better. You need to be polished. You need to do this and that. But so I think doing YouTubing has helped me let go of some of that stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
But when it comes to ministry, other than small group, I'm still very perfectionist. I can't let that go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? What are some things that you've learned to let go?
Yeah. For me, it's very like is related to social groups.
Oh.
Wait, that sounds so weird. So for me, something I've learned to let go is to kind of be more flexible when I'm with other people, like traveling, or we're supposed to organize something together. And like, if it's not for an official purpose, it's like not someone's engagement party or like someone's baby shower, because those need to be a little more like focused. But if it's like we want to do just like a day trip to somewhere and we want to like drive over, or let's plan like a 3-day trip to hike at this place. I used to be like, we have to leave at this time. We have to have all of these things. Like I have to pack all of this. Very, very structured. I'm not to the point of Hyojin where you plan your bathroom breaks too. Like that's next level. I admire that. I just can't do that. But I used to be very, very like, and I would get frustrated. I'd be like, we were supposed to leave at 6 a.m. so we wouldn't hit traffic here. And then we wouldn't like be late to our reservation. But like because of someone, we're late. And then the whole trip would get soured. Like no one's having fun. And so after like a couple of those things, I realized, ooh, like no one's enjoying it. Even though I get the satisfaction of saying like, I told you so, I feel horrible. My friends are not like enjoying it, or like my parents aren't enjoying it. So I've learned to kind of let go. And my thing is I'll have like one thing I really want to do during that trip, or one or two things. And I say, hey, these are some things that are really, really important to me. And I would love for us to like prioritize these things. Like, is it okay if I make a reservation? And then if someone like messes up the schedule, then that's like actual grounds for a conversation, right? Because both parties agree like, oh, that if that's a priority to you, we want to like prioritize it. But I haven't had many of those after like kind of changing my mindset. And then I've realized it's so much more fun too, to kind of let go of the schedule, to sometimes just walk into a store and realize, oh, it's, even though we didn't plan for it, this actually was the best lunch that we could have had here. Just, or just like have, if it was a horrible experience, like we have something to laugh about.
Oh, okay.
Months later. So, yeah.
Oh,
maturing in those ways.
Yeah, that's a good example. Actually, that I resonate with that, because when I travel, I'm not a J at all. I actually just like to do nothing, but I still am all about like being on time. Like being on time at the airport, making sure like if we have a reservation for a car rental, let's not be late or they'll cancel it. I get like all uptight about it.
Yeah.
And I have learned, especially with traveling with my in-laws, like my brother-in-law and my mother-in-law, I'm not a perfect person. So sometimes I still will not be the best example, but I have learned to be more cognizant of like not getting so stressed out about it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so we're 45 minutes late because this and this happened that I can't personally control.
Yeah.
Where if it's just my wife and I can control it a lot more. So in that sense,
wait, what?
What?
Oh, I thought you were like more flexible in general, but it's like with Hyojin, like we can control it.
No, I mean Hyojin likes to be on time too. She wants to go to there. I mean, we're like-minded in that. So
I see.
If we're like, oh, let's be at the airport 3 hours before, she wants to do the same thing. But with the like traveling with other people, they're not always like, oh, we don't care if we're at the airport 3 hours ahead.
I see.
So, yeah, I have to learn to let go of that and be like, okay, well, it's something that I want. It's more of a collective mind thought.
Yeah,
But,
that makes sense.
yeah. Okay, cool. All right, Hannah. So the last question we have on the docket is, what's something you still have a hard time letting go?
As much as I would like to say that I'm perfect, I am not. I there's two. Like one's a little more superficial, one's a little meatier.
Okay.
But the superficial one is emails and notifications. Like I cannot stand it when I have that little one, like red one next to my messages or my emails, and I have to immediately go and resolve it.
Oh.
So that is, I still cannot, I cannot like let go of that. And so sometimes what I do, this is how crazy I am. I'll put my phone on airplane mode if I can't respond, like because the notifications are giving me anxiety, and I know I can go back to it, but I just like don't like seeing those little numbers. So I'll put my phone on do not disturb or like airplane mode so I can't see the notifications. And then once I have time to reply, then I'll like go back and turn my phone back on. So that's very, very controlling in that way. And then a more like a deeper layer to this is I think I still feel resentment towards people who are not as organized or put together as me. So you kind of shared earlier, Adam, that like you feel like it made you a good leader. And I think personally, I never wanted to be a leader, which is kind of ironic because I'm a teacher and you kind of have to be a leader. But I never wanted to be a leader. I never wanted to stand out. I always wanted to be kind of hidden in the shadows and just be a fly on the wall and just observe. But because I like starting from 6th grade was already like packing my own bag, like my parents are not morning people. And so I would make my own breakfast, eat, and then go to school on time. Like they would not wake up. I was already doing that in like elementary school. And then, so like I kind of like the opposite of a latchkey kid, just I would get ready by myself and go to school, and I was never late. And like my parents really, I don't think they know how good they had it.
I was going to say, wow,
really
that was
disciplined
like
daughter.
Low maintenance daughter here.
Yeah, very low maintenance. Well, that's what I think, but I was very low maintenance. And so sometimes when I see people who were not like that and they were allowed to be kids growing up, I think I harbor a little bit of resentment towards them and be like, how come they got to get this? And how come they get to get away with everything? How come they never get penalties for not paying their whatever on time? Whereas for me, I feel like it's going to be the end of the world if I miss a deadline. So just like, or like I made sure I like really cracked down on myself to meet a deadline. And then suddenly the teacher gives an extension. And I'm just like, why? Like, that's so not fair. So I think I still harbor a lot of resentment, which is not fair because at the end of the day, I still benefited, right? I like finished it on time and now I don't have to worry about it. Or I'm the one that's organized and I'm ready to go. But still, sometimes I'm just like, why am I this way? Why couldn't I have just been the type B person who everyone else cares for instead of being the one that's caring for others?
Okay, yeah. Wow. That's a very well articulated answer. I don't know if I can be as eloquent on that. What's something still hard at letting go? I would say it's not that I don't know if it's a negative connotation, but I'll use an example. Like on the days that I lead worship at our church, I will go on Saturday and set everything up.
Yeah,
and then
you do that.
But then my thought process is, because I'm technically on the welcoming team after service, other than putting my guitar away, I rush out to talk to all the new people. So that way, by me doing everything in the morning, I don't feel bad asking the worship team to clean up everything.
Mm.
But even let's say I wasn't on the welcoming team and I didn't put the onus upon myself to go talk to new people and make that a thing, I think I still would have just showed up early and done everything. And I think
Wow.
that's where letting go, I need to let go of that. Because
Mm.
yeah, like I'll use excuses like, oh, I lead worship on this Sundays that we don't have much rehearsal time, so it's going
Mm.
to behoove everyone. But then at sometimes I'm like, oh, but by doing that, I don't let other people pitch
Step
in
up.
and step
Yeah.
up. And I think I did that even in ministry where I didn't want to burden
Mm.
either the youth or the adult congregation. So I would just do a lot of it because I didn't want
Mm.
to ask something of people if they weren't willing, if they weren't like just outright, oh, I'll do this. So I didn't want to be like, hey, could you come early even though you have 2 kids and you're doing all these things? So because of my perfectionism, I oftentimes didn't give people the opportunity to serve when they probably could have served.
Mm.
So I think I had a hard time letting that go, but it's because I'm not in a leadership role.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as much of an issue, honestly,
Anymore.
right
Mm.
anymore. But yeah, um,
Mm.
yeah. I mean, you mentioned something about you never intended to be a leader. Actually,
Mm.
honestly, I never intended to be a leader either. When
Mm.
I went to even to off to university to Bible college university, I didn't go intending to be a youth pastor or pastor. I just wanted to go
Mm.
to learn about God's word and maybe like,
Mm.
oh, I'll share the gospel as a missionary. But the thought of being like in a leadership role was
Mm-hmm.
nothing I aspired to be or wanted to be. But I think my perfectionism helped me be a good leader though.
Mm.
Not that I'm not saying that if you're not a perfectionist, you can't be a good leader. There's a whole lot of nuances to being a good leader outside of being a
Yeah.
perfectionist. So
Yeah.
obviously
Definitely.
that's not, I don't correlate the two.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think being perfect, it's tough because like biblically, like the idea of be perfect because God is perfect type of thing only like instills in my desire to be like, okay, I'm gonna be perfect like God, type of thing. So that's
Like
not,
legalistic.
yeah, legalistic type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I will show up to every prayer morning. I will show up to every
Yeah.
prayer night. I'm going to do everything I can to be the best disciple.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
just for church, but just for God. And that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes can come across as legalistic. So I guess there's a certain thing about perfectionism, but
Yeah. So you never feel resentment towards people who are not as organized or as put together?
frustration would be a more
Mm.
adjective word for me in that
Mm.
regard.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I might be frustrated, like, oh, why don't they understand like this is important type
Mm.
of thing. But resentment, I don't know. Maybe I come with the idea of if it is to be, it's up to me. So if they're not going to do it, then I'll just do it and not be resentment towards them because I'll just do it and make sure it's done type of thing.
Ooh. That's so mature.
I don't know
Wow,
if it's
Adam.
mature, but the frustration is still there though.
But still, like you're like, I will control what I can and I won't like get caught up in the things that I can't control, which is like someone else's way of life. But for me, it's like, why can't you change? Like, why can't you do this? And so I start getting really annoyed. But
Oh, that's very
yeah.
honest of you. Yeah.
Or
But I mean,
immature of me.
no,
Because I,
there's,
I can't change people. Like that's outside of my
yeah.
my, power. But yet I can't seem to let that go.
Oh. Well, I mean, you still have plenty of time to learn to let it go.
Maybe it's because I'm not married. Maybe it's because you, through marriage, have been very like, iron sharpens iron. So you've been
Yeah.
sharpened to kind of let go of certain things and be like, I can't change that person. So I will just carry the load that I can carry. And I'm not married. So I'm kind of like, pull your weight.
Yeah, you're a free agent. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you're not married, but there's still partnerships that you have, right? Partnerships with your school, partnerships with church, but I guess it's not the same as if you
Not the
are
same.
living with a person. So
Yeah.
in that regard, that's probably, you can technically become, it's easier to be more well-rounded if you are married, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah. No, I see that.
But
And then it makes me even more scared of marriage.
scared.
Because like you're bound to that person. Like I'm not bound to my church. I'm not bound to my employer. Those can always change. But your spouse, you're like bound to them for good or for worse.
That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't even think
That's
about that.
scary.
That's why it's really important to marry well.
Yeah.
You know
I think that's also why I should have gotten married earlier when I was naive and ignorant. Because now I feel like I know too much and commitment is like actually scary if you think about it.
That's funny because I was just talking to someone that literally said the opposite of you.
Really? Why?
She was literally saying, how could you be in a serious relationship you shouldn't be in a serious relationship until you're at least past 25 because your frontal something cortex of your brain isn't developed. So it's just you're stunting your growth if you don't figure out who you are first before you get married.
Oh no, I agree with that. But
okay.
Like I think 26 was the golden age that I should have like you're fully developed, your brain is fully developed, but you're still naive.
Yeah, Hyojin she was only 2 months from being 25. So she turned 25 and 2 months later she got married.
Wow.
So that she probably got married at the perfect age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. Go Hyojin.
But she was a go-getter. She got me. So I wasn't actively looking. I had at the time that we got together, I was like, I'm not gonna look anymore. I'm done. I literally gave it up. But I feel like, when it comes to I know we're getting really off the perfectionism, but in terms of relationships, I think it does coincide because I think a lot of people get married thinking ideally, oh, I'm going to have the perfect marriage because I'm an adult. I love this person. This person loves me. We're going to be perfect together. But I feel like the bar for marriage is actually the bar of successful marriage is a lot lower than I realized. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. Because
people are satisfied with much lower than you would think is right for a healthy marriage.
Yeah, they're accepting it a lot. They're accepting lower levels of the growth of a marriage or they think that they can't get past. Like, let's say you level up in marriage, right? So you start at level 1 and people think, oh, I've reached the highest level of marriage and you're really only at level 5.
Oh, I see.
And so I feel like a lot of people who are married, because now that I'm older and I do interact with people who are married, I've realized that a lot of them just accept, oh, well, we don't see eye to eye. That's fine. We have kids or we're committed and that's it. Type of thing. And honestly, that kind of makes me a little bit sad. I don't know.
No, I know what you mean. Because it's not just marriage. I think they settle with a lot of things, right? Like their careers, their faith. Like they're just like, this is good enough. Like there's no need to struggle more. I'm just okay with where we're at. But if you really think about it, like you're missing out on something so rich and so valuable. But you're just settling. Go. Yeah.
Yeah. That's said better than mine.
No.
But yeah.
Don't compare.
No. But I agree with you. Yeah. I think that's worded well because I think a lot of people, because maybe they're not perfectionists or they're not, I don't know. But I feel like a lot of people just settle for the mediocre. And maybe being a perfectionist, if it's dealt with with a healthy perspective, it makes your church relationships, work relationships, marriage relationships, friendship relationships better because you know that it can be better. You know that even though it's not perfect, you should strive for deeper.
Yeah.
Where I think if you're not a perfectionist, you're just like, yeah, it is what it is, and we'll just move on. This is the way the world is. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if
perfectionist.
I know. So if our listeners have gotten this far, I know we don't get too many comments on the Lost and Local, but then again, we don't really ask for it a lot.
Oh.
But if you've gotten this far, maybe let us know if you're a perfectionist or if you disagree with us or agree with us. Because unfortunately, we have a little biased podcast on perfectionism because we're both perfectionists.
Yeah,
so we kind of
are.
needed to have a not perfectionist with us to make it more balanced. Because we're kind of like just hitting ourselves on the back and saying, oh, we're great. We're both perfectionists.
Yeah. Please leave a comment.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, this was fun to just dive deep into something that I think a lot of us really don't think about too often, but it's a fun exercise to look into. So yeah, thanks for thinking of this topic.
Yeah. It's nice catching up with you, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. In the meantime, you all, thank you so much for checking out the channel. We will see you next week, and stay safe, y'all. God bless. Peace.
Bye.